Efficiency, a big topic, especially as it comes to government, Department of Government Efficiency. From the company On the Mark, Mark LaScala is with us. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
So let's talk about, first of all, let's talk about what your company does. I mean, your background, so you're the expert in this area. What gives you the expertise?
Well, I started On the Mark 35 years ago now. I've done over 500 redesigns around the globe. When you redesign an operating model or modernize an operating model, it also includes efficiency, process efficiency, process optimization, but by itself, that's not enough. But I've got 35 years, an entire career in doing this work.
So when you take that look at the DOGE, you're going to have a different perspective than the rest of us. What do you see that is the goal, and are they meeting the goal?
Well, a lot of discussion has been talked about in terms of government efficiency,
right,
but it's way more than government efficiency, and it's been kind of a double entendre, if you will, or kind of coded. If you actually look at it, business is not the same as government, as you well know, and a government has a different purpose than a business. But I would say DOGE is doing way more than actually just efficiency. If you look at it more closely, is what they're doing is hollowing out entire parts of the government, which has a different set of objectives besides efficiency.
When you look at I was with a congressman the other day, and he said, for instance, that the Pentagon can't pass an audit, and they don't even know how many trucks they own. I can't imagine any operation, whether it's a government or business, that doesn't know what equipment it owns.
You'd be surprised. I have a saying in business, it's amazing that businesses survive despite themselves. This is not unusual. Government's no different than business, and business makes a big deal of, well, we know what we have, we know what's inventory. That's a myth. I've been in many businesses around the globe that they don't know what they have, how many employees they have, how many departments they have, their materials, their supplies. So a little bit of a myth, so let me clear that up. It's not surprising the size of the military, if you will, about their equipment. I mean, my guess is Elon Musk doesn't know what he's got either in terms of Tesla and all the machines and things like that go with that industry.
Are the goals the right goals from the Department of Government Efficiency? Not necessarily what they're doing, but what they say they want to accomplish. Reducing the size of government, getting rid of fraud and waste. Is that something that's helpful? And is it a noble goal to be trying to accomplish?
Well, it's a noble goal, certainly noble. And I think there's always opportunity in government to make it more efficient. But let me just share with you a kind of a baseline is that most organizations we go in, businesses, and redesign them, we can save anywhere from 10 to 40% of their operating costs just in waste. So any business you walk into is probably full of waste. It's no different in government, and I think there's huge opportunity. But what DOGE is doing goes way beyond efficiency, as I said earlier, and it's really looking at hollowing out parts of the government, and it's really not clear. The big thing that we should all be concerned about is the downstream consequences and the unintended as well as intended consequences for doing laying off 18,000 IRS agents. That's our revenue as a country. And when you in any business, if you cut marketing and sales, what happens? You can have the best operations in the world, but you don't have anything coming in the door. So, you have to wonder, what is that really about? And is that really about efficiency?
So the pushback on that would be, during the Biden administration, there was an addition of 67,000 employees to the IRS. So if you're going to take away 17,000, you're still gaining 50,000 over the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's a really good point, Mike, and don't disagree. But if you look at the last 10, 15 years, one particular party's been hollowing out and starving the IRS, not allowing technology advancements, hiring of staff. And so it's all, it's kind of every 4 years we go through some kind of cycle like that. And I think one of the challenges for us as a nation, staying out of the politics, is if we could just get some stability over time, then we could really see what's going on. But it's a little hard, like when you're adding 60,000, taking out 10,000, taking out 80,000, whatever it is, and using old platforms, old tools, and old ways of working. All those things start to add up in terms of huge efficiencies, and things aren't going to be perfect.
Mark, I appreciate the expertise, because the perspective from your world is a lot different than the layperson, so we appreciate the perspective.
I appreciate your time, Mike.
All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Coming up, we're talking with a high